I'm Pat Miles. Coming up, Hurricane Marilyn leaves a calling card of destruction in the Caribbean. The search is on for suspects in what appears to be the unprovoked murder of a teenager, and a veteran Minneapolis police officer is fired, and her attorney calls the case against her a setup. Good evening, everyone. Paul and Diana have the night off. Minneapolis Police Sergeant Alyssa Clemens is being terminated for her alleged role in sending racist hate mail to other police officers. However, Clemens, who is black, claims she didn't do it, and her attorney says she is being used as a scapegoat. Clemens received her termination notice today. She's been the target of an investigation for nearly 3 years. An investigation Police Chief Robert Olson says implicates her and causes substantial harm to the department. But as KARE 11's Chris Patro reports, Clemens believes she was unfairly targeted.
Today, the officer accused of sending racist letters to her black colleagues got a letter of her own, her dismissal from the police force, saying the evidence supports the allegations against her and are serious enough to end her career. Clemens promptly called her attorneys.
I was shocked from the beginning, and I think I will always be shocked.
Shocked, they say, because just 2 weeks ago they notified the department of what they view as inconsistencies in the case, areas where they say there was a lack of investigation that could help clear Clemens's name.
We pointed out where the conclusions reached were not supported by the evidence, and we asked for certain things to be done. And they could not have possibly be done because we submitted our response towards the end of August.
We want Lisa! We want Lisa!
That was just after Clemens's hearing, where supporters and Clemens proclaimed her innocence.
I just want to thank everybody for their support and their belief in me.
Tonight, her attorneys believe that Clemens is a scapegoat, and that today's statement from the mayor's office declaring how saddened they are by the loss of a fine officer is merely for show.
If they're so saddened by her loss, why didn't they fully investigate? You know, there are things like fingerprints and handprints that are on these letters that have proven not to be Lisa's.
Lisa wants people to know that she's not looking for a white officer as a scapegoat. She is not making this a racial issue. All she is saying is, I'm not the one that sent that hate mail.
Now, city officials couldn't discuss the case with us pending an appeal. And in fact, Clemens' attorneys say they'll now assist the union with their grievance procedures against the department in order to get Clemens reinstated. Then they say they'll look at filing civil litigations against the department. Pat?
Chris, why does Elisa feel that she in particular has been targeted?
Well, that's a good question. Elisa's attorneys tell me that Elisa was a highly commended officer, and in fact, in the mayor's letter today, it says that they are saddened by her loss because she is a highly commended and highly valued officer. However, her attorneys say that Clemens feels that because she was a vocal member of the police department standing up for women's rights, minorities' rights, and against police brutality, that she was viewed by her colleagues as a troublemaker. And in her attorney's words, it was time to get the troublemaker out.
And the timing of this, unfortunate for her, is she's about to give birth, I heard you mention.
Her attorneys tell me tonight that she's about 4 weeks away from giving birth, and while she's ready to fight for an appeal and to get her job back, that right now she's in a vulnerable condition, and they're going to have to keep an eye out for her before she takes her health into any kind of risk.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Sure.
Minneapolis police are looking for suspects tonight in a drive-by shooting that killed one teenager and critically injured another. Police say 2 teenage boys were standing on the corner of 34th Street and 17th Avenue South when a car drove up and someone inside opened fire. One of the boys was hit in the initial volley. The other was gunned down as he ran.
We're watching TV, and next thing we know, we just heard bang, 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 bang. And I said, Marcus, did you count how many there was? And he said 7. I said, uh-oh.
At this point, doesn't see any provocation on the part of the victims right yet. Appears to be that these individuals came by and shot him for no reason right now.
Police have no suspects in custody, but they do have a partial description of the car involved. There are 2 stories tonight about crime and its impact on Twin City neighborhoods. The first is about the murder of a St. Paul man and how his death is uniting people against violence. More than 100 people joined in a candlelight march from Humboldt High School to the corner of Bidwell and Morton Streets. That's where Louis Reyes was murdered back in August.
We do come here in the spirit of renewal and reconciliation and to express our collective outrage at the senseless violence that took the life of Louis Reyes.
After a few words of remembrance, the marchers dedicated a memorial plaque to Reyes at the site of his murder. Several teenagers are in custody for the crime.
Did you get out of those? 50. I don't know.
And people in a Minneapolis neighborhood tonight threw a party to say thank you to police. People who live in the 3100 block of Pleasant Avenue South hosted the block party. They did it to recognize police efforts that have greatly reduced crime in their neighborhood. One man dead tonight after an unusual accident in Apple Valley. It happened during this morning's rush hour. Police say the driver of a stolen tow truck slammed into another truck after fleeing police. The driver of the stolen truck died at the scene. Police say the man had stolen other cars this morning and had apparently been discarding his clothing as he switched vehicles. Police officers were pursuing the stolen truck but backed off when the suspect approached the busy intersection of Cedar Avenue and 106th Street, and that's where the fatal collision took place. Police say they do not know what motivated the suspect. Good news tonight for people who use Lake Minnetonka. Health officials are lifting a ban on swimming effective tomorrow morning. The ban was put into effect after a sewer line collapsed 8 days ago, sending 500,000 gallons of raw waste into the lake and Grays Bay. Officials say fecal bacteria levels are now low enough to be considered safe. Bloomington police trying to find out how a man fell to his death from a Mall of America parking ramp. 21-year-old Michael Gallagher apparently fell after security guards confronted him and another man in connection with a car that was vandalized. Department of Transportation crews adding turning lanes and traffic signals to a dangerous road in Chisago County. The 6-mile stretch of Highway 8 has been the scene of 30 fatal accidents in the past 15 years. Several Minnesotans are getting involved tonight in relief operations in the Caribbean. They are among the thousands of people rushing to the U.S. Virgin Islands after Hurricane Marilyn caused extensive damage there. On St. Thomas alone, 80% of the buildings are either damaged or destroyed. And on islands where tourism is the greatest source of income, that devastation could have a lasting impact. KARE 11's John Stone reports.
In the rush to reach places all over the world, travelers at Twin Cities International may not see the latest from one top spot, St. Thomas Virgin Islands. The news is the island is in ruins. There is little left to draw anybody there. A big reason 2 Twin Cities Red Cross volunteers are bound there.
It makes me feel good. They need the help, and it benefits me too. When I get home, I feel good about myself.
Gary Gardner is taking his vacation to provide logistics support. Karen Hyman, a retired mortgage banker, will give emergency aid to families.
I mean, some people are hurt, that's hard. Some people have died, that's hard. But the ones that are alive, it's just stuff. So you replace stuff, you know?
Gardner and Hyman boarded a commercial flight to Atlanta and planned from there to take a charter to St. Thomas. Today, that's virtually the only way to get there.
Good afternoon, Carlson Wagenly Travel.
Agents at Carlson Wagenlied Travel Network learned that commercial flights into St. Thomas are canceled. And even if you can get there, there are few places to stay.
Right now, it doesn't look very good. You know, most of the hotels, I believe, have been destroyed in St. Thomas and St. John's. But we're asking people to just hold tight until we find out more information.
Towers suggests calling your agent to find out about refunds and to learn about the latest. Gary Gardner and Karen Hyman will find out firsthand. But far from a pleasure trip, they expect to see life in its most miserable conditions. John Stone, KARE 11 News.
If you'd like to help the victims of Hurricane Marilyn, you can send a donation to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund in care of the Twin Cities Red Cross, Post Office Box 11842 in St. Paul, and the zip code is 55111. Prosecutors have ended their rebuttal case in the O.J. Simpson trial, at least for the moment. Now the defense is trying for a big finish. On the stand today, a defense witness who claims leather gloves like those found at the crime scene are not likely to shrink is soaked in blood. That would support defense claims that the so-called bloody gloves don't fit Simpson and could not belong to him. The defense also wants to call a reputed mobster to the stand who allegedly overheard a police detective admit that the search of Simpson's estate was illegal. A plan for peace in Bosnia is on the verge of falling apart tonight. The reason? Advances against the Serbs by Bosnian Muslims and their Croat allies. Most of the Serbs' command and control facilities were taken out by NATO airstrikes. Now their foes are taking advantage by launching a new military offensive. If it continues, the Serbs are likely to back out of the international peace plan. Los Angeles residents are outraged tonight over a gang attack that claimed the life of a 3-year-old girl. Police say a Los Angeles family took a wrong turn onto a street full of gang members. The gang members blocked the street, then opened fire on the car, killing the girl. They also wounded a 2-year-old boy and the driver of the car. Hundreds of women who blame breast implants for a variety of health problems are demanding the government's help. Implant makers agreed to pay more than $4 million to affected women, but so many came forward that the deal could collapse. The women are seeking financial responsibility and government funding for research on the side effects of implants. If you suffer from migraine headaches, we have some good news tonight. Not a cure, but an easier way to get rid of the pain. Until now, the drug Imitrex was only available by injection, but now the migraine medication is available in tablet form by prescription. It's pricey, though, $9 a tablet, and it does not get rid of a headache as quickly as an injection, but it is, they say, a lot more convenient. Well, time now for a break, but we have plenty of good things ahead. Ken Barlow has the forecast, and it could include, believe it or not, a little of the white stuff. Also, we'll show you the quick cool down. It has some Minnesota farmers scrambling for the fall harvest, and find out why the money in your pocket will soon look a lot different when we come right back. The fall harvest is always a busy time of the year for farmers, but this week is taking on a sense of urgency as farmers race against the dropping mercury. Minnesotans could get an early taste of winter this week, and while some might welcome the cool down, many farmers are scrambling to save their crops. This weekend, temperatures in the Twin Cities reached a pleasant 73 degrees, but look out. By the end of the week, low temperatures could get below freezing. And as KARE 11's Brad Woodard reports, the cold snap is causing some farmers to hurry up the harvest.
It seems a fitting end to a season which began with one of the coldest springs on record, only to evolve into one of the hottest and definitely most humid summers on record. Now, barely 3 weeks into September, unseasonably cool weather once again looms on the horizon.
This year questioned your wanting to be a farmer, number one. It was a difficult year.
Made even more difficult now that the rush is on to beat the frost.
There's some nice squash here, Martin.
Organic farmers Martin and Atina Diffley are scrambling to bring their butternut squash in from the fields to the safety of a greenhouse a month earlier than last year.
This butternut is the most frost-sensitive variety there is, so we're getting that one in first. You never know how cold it's going to get.
It's not that it's been a disastrous year for the Diffleys, it's simply been a short one. The exceptionally warm weather of summer accelerated the growth of some crops to such a degree.
Some things didn't get picked that could have. There was corn that was lost. Just too much to pick at once and sell at once.
There were some nights where farmers probably didn't sleep much more than 4 hours.
When you're a farmer, you can't look at the tough side, or you get depressed.
And with a slightly lower crop yield than average, for the most part, it was a good year, just not a great one. Brad Woodard, KARE 11 News, near Lakeville.
Farmers say the hot summer resulted in less pollination, and that means pumpkins and melons will likely be in short supply this fall. Ken Barlow here to tell us about, don't say it.
Snow?
No.
Actually, you know,
Don't say
it's getting a bad rap, but normally in September, December.
Oh, you're
September.
jumping ahead, aren't
Yes,
you?
I am.
Weathermen are all alike.
We usually do get a trace of some kind of frozen precipitation, just a snowflake maybe on Thursday. That's all we're talking about here.
Oh.
Nothing major, Pat, don't worry. Don't need to shovel quite yet. You do the shoveling at home, don't you? Yeah. Weather Spy photo tonight. A very pretty picture tonight, kind of an unusual one. And we like these because it's a lonely shower. See that, Pat? It kind of looks like a mushroom there in the back, but it's a very small rain shower. You can see the rain coming out of the cloud as it's reaching toward the ground. And this was sent in by Karen Smith of Robbinsdale. She was up around Mora visiting her daughter when she took this pretty picture. 68 the high today. Hope you enjoyed it. It'll be the last 60 for a while. 52 the low this morning. No rain yet, although they have just reported a shower last hour at the airport. We don't have a measurement on it, but it looks like it was just a very light trace. Let's go on outside. And here in Golden Valley, we're beginning to get a few sprinkles now. I'm noticing very, very little, kind of like a drizzle out here. It's not bad yet, but tomorrow will be a very wet day. In fact, I think rain could be heavy at times, especially from the Twin Cities south. Let's see what's happening at the airport again. There is a rain shower in progress. The wind's out of the south at 13. The dew point is 50, and the temperature and the dew point get close. The humidity goes up. Relative humidity is at 80% right now, and we do have a rising barometer. Let's look at Super Doppler first. We can see that, in fact, there is some rain on it, and most of it has been to the south of here. Here in the Twin Cities metro, there have been a couple of very light sprinkles and showers, but just to the south, in Goodhue County, Dakota County, And south, there's been a pretty good shower, steady light rain for most of the night tonight. In fact, earlier during the day, down around St. Peter, Mankato, the rain came down a little heavily for a while there. Okay, let's look at our radar right now, and you can see regionally that there's a lot more where that came from. In fact, thunderstorms flared up earlier, but watch them die down. Watch the red here, and then they kind of go away. That indicates that the thunderstorms are no longer together, but there still could be some heavier rain. This other strip of rain up here to the north, that is the cold front. It's down to 42 degrees at Thief River Falls at this hour, and it's in the 60s and 50s all to the south of there. So that's where the front is right here through North Dakota. It's in the 30s and 40s. There have been a couple of wet snowflakes mixed in with the rain up in North Dakota and southern parts of Canada tonight. Just a real cold air mass. We expect it at this time of the year, and it's going to happen. It looks like starting tomorrow, we will struggle, our temperatures will, to reach the middle 50s during the afternoon hours and then stay there and then drop into the upper 30s tomorrow night. Low pressure down over Nebraska will combine with the front. They're both moving toward us, converging, and as that happens, we'll get that cool air in here with a kind of a cold rain tomorrow. This is the way the weather map looks now. Tuesday, it starts to move in on us, and then by Wednesday, it's chilly. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with the cool details in just a minute, but first, here's the Lake Country forecast. Welcome back, folks. A few sprinkles right now. A steadier rain is coming tomorrow. Here's the forecast in some detail tonight. A couple of showers, mostly cloudy. The steadiest of the rain will be south of Minneapolis-St. Paul. 52 to 57 overnight. Tomorrow, look for a cloudy day. Kind of a raw day, too, with periods of rain in 53 to 58. The wind will shift into the north tomorrow night. It'll clear. We'll drop down to the upper 30s. The kids wake up for school on Wednesday morning. They may need the heavier coats. 54 even in the afternoon. That's it. And then on Thursday, there's that chance of a sprinkle or a snowflake, but no big deal. But the temperature, 45 degrees, is well below our average. And Friday, it stays cool, but it dries out. Looks like a very, very nice day. With me in the backyard are volunteers to bring attention to a Korean benefit that they're having. The event is a fundraiser for adoption agencies and orphanage in Seoul, Korea, where all these kids are from. This year, the Korean benefit will be held at the National Sports Center in Blaine on October the 7th. The benefit is an opportunity for the families to see performances by the Changmi dancers and also a Korean children's choir. Sounds like a fun night. In addition, there are sales of T-shirts, toys, crafts from Korea, a live and silent auction. All families and friends of children adopted from Korea can call Children's Home Society. The screen, bottom of the screen had the phone number on it, 646-6393 for ticket information.
And here's some kimchi.
Here's some kimchi. Pat, we're going to eat this after the show, okay?
They look great, don't they?
They're very nice, yeah.
Hey, be honest, you're really excited about this cold snap, aren't you?
Maybe.
I knew it. Thank you, Kim.
Bye.
Thanks to your guests. The Treasury Department is planning a makeover for the nation's currency, and it will dramatically change the look of money. The government will start with $100 bills and then change all other denominations. They say they're starting with the $100 bills, though, because they're preferred by counterfeiters. The Secret Service says new technology is making it too easy to create fake bills.
Which some are computer generated, and this will help deter counterfeiting of those casual type counterfeiters.
The new bills will have features like watermarks, iridescent ink, and micro-printed dots to make the currency more difficult to copy. Randy Shaver is coming up with sports. He'll talk prep athletes and Timberwolves who could be looking to deal J.R. Ryder. And just last week, he dropped millions to lure Deion Sanders to the Cowboys, but Jerry Jones may soon find his pockets a little lighter. Randy will explain up next.